Our masterclass, The Power of Daily Routines, live here from the farm. Me and Simba, living with the spirit. How are you today, Simba?
I'm good. I'm doing great. New shirt and really hot weather. And yeah, it's always a fun topic to discuss because the daily routines is such a big part of what we do when we teach our clients and we work with our clients in general and really just how to set up the days. So yeah, looking forward to get into this topic and to discuss it a little bit more in depth, not just the 5, 10, 2, 3 minutes that we do sometimes here and there on social media.
Yeah, I'm just checking in to see that we are live in the right group and everything is set. So I think that we just get started.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so here is a little presentation. And so today we will talk about the power of a daily routine. This is one of the, what do I say, the main pillars of our work, our personal work, and we also try to implement it as much as possible here at the farm.
Yeah, it's kind of how everything is built up if we look at it. Like we really built this whole structure with the routines among the ability to be able to propel you forward in life, right? And that's what we did personally. That's what gave us the best benefits and success, right? So that's why we started to implement it in the program for people to come to the retreats and stay with us. And it's been very successful, in my opinion, both for ourselves personally, but also professionally working with others. And it's a very big step in any journey, right? No matter what you want to do, when you want to change something, right? You have a certain set of consistency or rules or steps to take, so you know where you're coming from and where you're going. And I think a daily routine is really one of the first crucial steps to have in order to move forward and to go somewhere in life.
Yes, so before we get started, we want to say hello and welcome. And so this masterclass will be packed with information. So get yourself a notebook and make yourself comfortable, and we get started. So, okay, Simba, why would you say that this is so important for us?
Well, this is like I mentioned a little bit now previously, right? It's what has really given us the main results or the greatest results, like moving forward in our personal practice in life. And whenever I remember we talked about it, both of us in great detail in length, the biggest or largest results that we got was when we started to have like a steady practice of moving forward. And as we have that practice set in place, it will create safety, it will create stability, and it will really create like a sense of awareness of where I'm coming from, right? Like every time, if you have a daily routine, as you start your days, you will know how much energy you have to give to others, how much energy you have for yourself. If you need to spend more time for yourself, I don't have so much energy to give to others. So it will really navigate you and give you a sense of clarity of where you're coming from in terms of your own energy levels. And it will really help you navigate yourself throughout your days. And if you know that as you're starting your days, right, it's we won't know what happens throughout our days, but it will give you like a really, really good outlook to navigate from, right? It's kind of like if you're driving a car, I can see how much gasoline I have, right? Then I know how far I need to go before I fill up the tank the next time. So a daily routine, a morning routine, essentially, is really important for that specific aspect, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's a the daily routines or like the morning practice, I would say, is, I mean, all the spiritual teachers that I have and have heard of have like very, very strong daily routines and daily practices. It feels like Yeah, one of the quotes that one of our teachers is saying, "Do your practice, live your life." It's like it's equally important as living your life to do your practice. So yeah, it's definitely the vehicle to any transformation. But we will talk a little bit more about that. So, who would you say will get the most out of this training?
Anyone that's ready to make a change and that's looking for clear, practical tools or philosophies to implement into your life starting today to move forward, right? So, definitely, if you're highly motivated, definitely, if you're looking to make a change in your life, you may be trying a lot of different things and you feel like, no, this has to be something else. I'm not really feeling this is the way forward for me. Um, Sometimes I also notice a lot of people we work with are kind of feeling like they're alone. They feel like I'm the only one that feels like this. Everyone else seems to be doing fine, but not fine. And I'm the only one that actually says something. So if you feel that you're one of those people that really want to make a change and you're not just fine with things being the way they are, you actually want to make a positive reset or transformation in your life, regardless of age and stage in life, then I think definitely this masterclass will be for you because it will really give you practical tools and solutions for how to have a strategy to move forward that allows you to feel safe, right? That allows you to feel stability as you're making changes, right? Most people that do any kind of personal development um, practice, they know we're going to make a lot of changes in our lives. So the daily routines is really a tool that will propel you to move forward and have safety and stability doing so.
Yeah, I would say that anyone who is ready to invest in themselves and ready to set time and energy aside to implement. So it's not, it's like I feel like the results of the routine is like over time. It's not so much about what you do exactly in that moment. It's just the fact that you show up for yourself and the investment that you make in yourself with time and energy. That is what will that's when those are the people who will get the transformation and get the results out of the daily routine. It's the devotion to the practice itself. It's not so much about exactly what you do. It's the fact that you do, that you show up for yourself, and that you are willing to meet yourself and get to know yourself and to see what is inside. So I would say that the daily routine is the it's like the ticket to to something else. Like it could be your spiritual practice. It could be the fact that you want to get something. You want to transform something in your life, and it doesn't matter if you're looking for to deepen the spiritual practice or just to create new routines. If you need to if you feel like you have pain or chronic pain or something physical in the body that you want to overcome, or if there's emotional blockages or energetical blockages that is keeping you from living the life that you feel deep inside that you should be living or could be living or want to be living, um, or if you have stress, or if you're looking for mental clarity, or if you are having like limiting belief systems. It's like you said, that you sense that something could be better. Life could be better. I could feel better. I could have better relationships. I could get a better job. I could have more money. I could. It's like there's something inside of me that is telling me that this is not it. I want to. I want to level up. I want something else for myself. And it doesn't really matter what it is that you're looking for. Uh, the daily routine is what's going to really uh, be the vehicle, as you said, to any transformation or any aspect in your life. Could be personal or could be professional.
Yeah, I agree 100%, right? It doesn't really matter, like you said, what you're looking for, because with these tools, you're going to propel forward anyways, and it will make you feel that you're moving steadily forward. So people come from all ranges and backgrounds in life when we work with them, but these are kind of the qualities they have. They want to do something, they want to move forward. They might just not know where to start or exactly what to do, because there are so many things out there today. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do It doesn't really matter exactly what you do. Like Sarah said, it's more that you have a practice that you work forward with, because that's what's going to propel you forward. So we can come from a lot of different backgrounds when we come into this kind of practices.
Yeah, and before we start to talk about exactly how to structure and what to do, and like to get into the nitty gritty, there's so many things that is excellent to talk about, like in and around the daily routines, because as we mentioned in the beginning, it's the benefit of having a structure and being consistent. And I would say that the structure, you could also choose the word intention. Like, what is it that I want to accomplish? And you can structure your daily routine or daily practice based on what it is that you want to accomplish. But I mean, the daily routine could be many different things. So we're going to give you a different, like, different building blocks that you can choose from and that you can create for yourself. But I would say that having an idea and giving the, like, what you choose for yourself, what are the building blocks that you build your routine from, will change or differ. I mean, it will change over time. Mine is changing constantly, but I have an intention with it, and I'm being consistent, and I show up all the time. And that is what's propelling me forward. It's not about how many minutes I did of the meditation, or how many rounds of an EFT that I did every day. It's the fact that there's an intention with the practice, that I choose the building blocks based, that I give that some love and time, and that I keep showing up. And we will talk about a little bit about how to flow with time and structure and stuff later on. But it's about being connected to the body, and all the time checking in, and getting to know oneself, and exploring the inner world, and listen to what the body is communicating, and just staying on track and then adapting based on that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, that's definitely the benefits, right? That it provides you structure and consistency in your work moving forward, and it's really a framework to work within, right? Because there's so many different roads to go about when you do any change in your life, whether it's career, where it is education, or in love, or in health, or practices that you might be doing for yourself to feel better. So, I mean, if you have a structure with daily routines that you're navigating from, then it's I wouldn't say easier to have a consistency, but you know, it shows you if you cannot have a consistency, right? Whatever is not allowing you to have a consistency will come forward, and that will be super. Like, I get really excited about those things, because those are the things that we really want to clear out, so we can continue doing what we want to do more, and then have more of or less of what we don't want.
I mean, when we have this structure and consistency, then we will step by step build our personal power. We build our resilience. We build our diligence. We build our life force, our energy, our health. So it has the benefits of having a structure and being consistent is one of the most important aspects of the health work that we are doing and that we are promoting here at Living with the Spirit. So if you have a daily routine already and you're not feeling the results, then you can look at what you're doing and maybe go deeper and hopefully you can find some inspiration in this little spiel. Okay, so now we will go over to how to build the routine. So first of all, I would start by looking at, so how much time and investment am I willing to do? So when I structure the routine for, so we usually start with a morning routine, and so I ask the people, so what time, like how much time do you have in the morning? What time do you get up? Is there a time that you can choose that is the same every morning? And how much time can you set aside for your routine? And I would say that anything from 30 minutes and up is very good. And I mean, the more time you spend, the more effects you will have, of course. But I mean, not all people have ability to set aside 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours for your routine. But uh, and this doesn't really matter. It's about everyone do whatever they want to do and what they feel called to do and what they can do. And it's not about focusing, oh, I can't do as much as this and this and this and this person. It's more about focusing, what can I do and what feels right for me. And maybe you are in a situation where you wish you had more time, but maybe that's not the fact. So don't waste any time um, thinking about what you don't have. Think about, okay, what can I do? What is reasonable for me to do for as an everyday practice? So if it's 30 minutes, you wish you had an hour because you want to do all the things, but you don't, fine, then you do the 30 minutes. If you have an hour, if you have an hour and a half, then that's what you use. If you have more, that's what you use. So, and you can have uh, that, like, oh, on Mondays I have 1 hour, on Tuesdays I only have 30 minutes. So we want to give you building blocks so you can mix and match a little bit. It's like a salad bar. You today I want to eat this, and today, the other day, I want to do something else. And this is what we always promote at Living with the Spirit, is to tune in and feel what the body needs and what I need to do. So we will give you a couple of building blocks to build from, but you can feel what you need and when. And yeah, do you have anything you want to say before I?
No, I think you said it very well. It's really according with what's your goal, what's your intention, where do you want to go, and connecting to your body and finding where might I need some more support, where might I be out of balance, and how can I add components that I guess we'll come into a little bit deeper soon, and to start practice, right? To start to build on that foundation, so
Mm,
we can move forward, right? Because that's really what it's about, right? You want to see, where am I going, and it's like building a house or building a really big structure, or the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, you place brick by brick. Okay, which bricks do I place and where? It's an ongoing practice. It's an ongoing modality that you might be using. And like Sarah said, you will be using different tools at different times because you have different needs.
So the building blocks that we will share 5 blocks, and we will share them in an order that we recommend to do. But some people don't feel like doing that at all, and that's fine. You can mix and match as how you like. And also sometimes we don't have the time to do everything in the morning, and then we can also split to do in the evening, and then you might want to mix them up a little bit. But we will share like how we see the different blocks and why we put them in that order, and then you take that information and you use it however you like. So we always start with meditation, and we always recommend to start with um, meditation because it serves as a check-in. Like the first thing you do in the morning, you check in, how are you doing? Like, how is the body feeling? How is my energy levels? Do I have pain anywhere? Do I have um, raving emotions, or do I feel chirpy as a bird? Did I jump out of bed in the morning, or was it very difficult? And to really meet yourself in the morning, and like the most important person in your life is you. And by starting with the meditation, you go inside and say hello. and and you do a check-in, and like, okay, so how am I doing? Okay, maybe I came home late last night. I didn't sleep well. Maybe it's 40 degrees in Thailand. It's difficult to sleep. Like, maybe I was dehydrated. All of these things that the first thing you do is that you check in with your body and to see if there's any communication that it wants to deliver to you. Maybe you have an idea that, oh, today I'm going to do this massive workout as part of my morning routine. But maybe the body doesn't want to do that. Maybe the body wants to do something completely, like something else. So this is like honoring yourself and really building this connection to the voice inside, and allowing that voice to expand, and um, allow it to to come forward. And if if we are not like experienced meditators, this can take a little bit of time before this voice is clear and well expressed. And I would say that this is also something that you will learn and notice as you go along with your morning routine, if you start to take a little bit of time to do a check-in and really listen.
Yeah, there's a few different things to be said about meditation and check-in. We kind of use a lot of these terms interchangeably, but essentially when I look at meditation is a transition, right? You're transitioning brainwaves, you're transitioning states, you were asleep. Usually before we wake up, we pass through different brainwaves. So maybe you have some dreams, maybe you wake up feeling in a certain way. So the meditation really allows for that transition, right? Because many times in Western society, we have alarm, okay, and I just get to it, or I just snooze and snooze, or it's kind of one or the other. So the meditation, it kind of allows for a very much more productive way rather than snoozing. It allows you to really transition through the different states and balance the mind and the body, and really to listen and feel where we're coming from. But it's also like a calibration, right? You calibrate everything, so everything becomes much more quiet, more still, more balanced, and it's easier to move from there, right? Because otherwise, when you wake up, it can be like a shock for the system. It just wakes up and starts to do things. If you go back and snooze, you're going to start to disrupt your sleep cycles, which will take you up to 4 hours before you're really recovered from it, according to the latest neuroscience. So the meditation really is a way of transitioning states The checking is really about feeling into where you're coming from, right? Being more present in your body, in your thoughts, in your emotions, without judging them, without having to fix anything or do differently. So the meditation really serves as a starting a focal point for your day, where you can, without any judgment, there's the moment for yourself. A moment for yourself to allow yourself to be present, to be still. And it's really a gift to give to yourself. And once you start to do that every day, you will have so much more awareness about your health in general. And you will start your day from a very conscious place, a very awake place. You might be tired, but you're aware of what's going on, right? You don't have to go through half of your day because you realize that, wow, I was really tired. I rushed out of bed this morning. I didn't like this. I didn't have time to eat breakfast. You just start your day with much more awareness, and it gives you more options and opportunities as you move forward in your day.
Yeah, the point of doing this check-in for me, it's about listening to the body and see if I need to adjust something. The people that I work with is usually they want to transform something in their lives, usually something emotional or physical pain or stress or things like that. And in order to be able to do that, we need to uh, rebuild this connection to the body and listen to the body and allow the body to communicate and say, wow, I feel really tired today. And then also, maybe there's something more that I need to change during the day for the schedule for the day, but because my energy levels doesn't match my activity level. So I would say that, but that you will also know going through the whole routine, the morning routine, and that's also why we have these different building blocks. Because if you do these building blocks every day, then you will notice if you were just a little bit tired, during meditation, and then when you started to move a little bit, the energy started to come back. Or is it that you actually need to take a look at your life or your daily schedule and see if there is yeah, maybe you don't have the energy levels that is matching your schedule. But also, this is a recommendation, and you take whatever you feel is calling to you. Take this and just take the nuggets and create whatever you feel is working for you. So the next thing on the as the building blocks that we recommend is EFT, the emotional freedom techniques, the tapping. And this is great to use if you're looking for this deeper change, because this will work with the nervous system and the amygdala and the stress like receptors in the brain, and will start to calm everything down. And uh, working with this over time, I see tremendous results in the people that I work with. It's absolutely fantastic to see the power of doing EFT every morning. And it doesn't have to be very long. You can use videos that you can follow along, and there's the beauty of the follow along videos are that they are usually um, created with an intention for a specific feeling or emotion or situation that is brilliant. But also, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. It will work fantastic anyway. So if there's one that you really like that is about stress, or if there's a one particular for a certain emotion, just doesn't really matter if it's not exactly connected to how you feel that day. It will still give you the power of the results.
Yeah, and the main thing when it comes to adding EFT into a morning practice for me is that it creates a pause between the stimuli, or what we call triggers, or something that might affect us, and your response, right? So it gives you more time. So as we start tapping in the morning, we just relax all these areas that Sarah said, the brain, the nervous system, and it gives you more awareness and more time, like a imagine two extra breaths before you do something, right? Someone says something to you or a situation happens where you might snap because you're tired or you're very activated, and this just gives you two three more breaths and you're like, wow, feels like time slowed down a little bit. Right? And I just have more options, which gives you more, a wider range of how to navigate and how to move forward, so you become less reactive and more responsive. You choose your responses, so it really gives you that uh, extra time. And it also allows to progressively over time knock out the charging, triggering emotions from different events, right? So next time you're in a similar situation, it's like your brain, your body, your nervous system has had some strength training and some time to clear out all of those old residues. So you will come into the situation looking at it as a new situation and not being biased from your previous experience. You will kind of let go of the old so you can see every situation that happens in life as a new situation. So it really gives you that ability, especially when you do it over a period of time, to start to look at things with fresh eyes. And that ultimately makes you more present and gives you more choices.
Yeah, the EFT is amazing how powerful it is, and it works on short term. So it's so great if you. That's why it's so great to start with a meditation, and you feel like, wow, I feel a lot of stress. I feel overwhelmed, or I feel really stressed about the presentation or the masterclass that I'm going to host later on today, or I'm really upset at my boyfriend, or if there's something emotional that is going on, or if there's something stressful that is going on that you feel right away that when you wake up, then it's fantastic to do EFT because it knocks out the charge, as Simba said, in uh, in the emotions and the nervous system activation, or uh, maybe overwhelm that we are feeling right now. But it's not only working on a short term, it's also working long term. So it's like it's just a win. I mean, I can't underline this enough, but the um, what I see as in the people that I work with. So I highly recommend this. Anything you want to say before we move forward?
No, I agree. I agree 100%. I think that was well put.
And yeah, so the next building block, you can the two next ones you can shift around if you want to. What you can do is to do some reflection and journaling in the to help the body to process, because when we are stressed and when we are running around in life, going from on to the next, worrying what other people think of us and what we're going to do this weekend, and if why doesn't that person call you back or whatever, then the stress levels in the body is very high, and there's certain um, parts of the brain that is not turned on when we are very stressed. So as we start to slow down and incorporate a good morning routine with the meditation and the EFT to calm down the nervous system and stuff, then the body starts to process, and by doing some sort of reflection or journaling as part of your process, it will just help the body to process whatever the body needs to process, because it's all the unprocessed stuff in the body, in the nervous system, that is costing us all this energy and is causing so much upheaval in terms of emotions and stress and whatnot, and like this racing mind and inability to make decisions and have clarity and stuff. So by taking the time to do some sort of reflection or journaling is a massive, great way to just give the body this time and just to write. So yeah, and if you are working through some energetical stuff or emotional stuff with the EFT, then this is perfect to do, because we get so much clarity, or can get so much clarity from the EFT practice, that we then want to take notes of. And it's not about that we have to come back to the notes. It's more about, it's just it's an energetical thing. It's helping the body to heal, basically.
Yeah, and definitely the journaling and like I kind of look at it as two different things. The journaling for me can be both conscious and unconscious. It can be that you start to write something, right? You start to write what you feel in the moment, and then just set yourself free, and it becomes like a alternative way for your subconscious mind, to communicate what's going on. You might
Hmm.
start to draw things, you might write things. So all that charged energy in your body, the subconscious mind is really connected to your body. And not to go too much off topic, but if something traumatic or stressful happened to us in life, chances are that your conscious mind will be disconnected or blank that memory out, whereas your body and your subconscious mind will be aware of everything that happens, right? It won't show it down. So now we have a discrepancy. Your conscious mind doesn't want to remember it, it suppresses it, and the subconscious mind is trying to get this energy out. So journaling could be a way to start to kind of get that story out. It's kind of like your body starts to let that energy out, and the reflection is, it's I think it's a lot about self-love, and giving yourself the time and energy to really, to talk to yourself, not necessarily in your head, but like to have a conversation with yourself and just say what's in your heart and put it out there, or things that you want to tell yourself, like, wow, I'm actually happy about all the things that I've created here, right? It's so easy, we get so nitty gritty in, oh, this didn't happen and I was stressed about this, and this didn't happen and I decided this with this person. And then, we're very micro focused sometimes when we look at our problems and our stresses in life, and the reflection can help us to look at things from a wider perspective. And once you start to do, have some more space, and I might go, wow, I'm actually not doing that bad. I'm just a little bit stressed this week, this month, because whatever. So it gives you, once again, a little bit more space, a little bit more clarity to have more opportunities for insights, and allow for creativity to come out, because we're very left brain today, right? Logic, structure, lists, this and that. And writing and art is really about, we're not really reaching a goal, right? It's more of a process, it's a being, it's a flowing state, right? So it allows for something of that essence to come out through us, which is usually the subconscious mind. The body starts to communicate because it's free to do so.
Yeah, the more, I would say that the more creativity you can incorporate in your morning routine, the better, because creativity is one of the things that get very blocked when we are yeah, with the stressful lifestyle that we live, and if we have the pain and emotional stuff that usually what we see. I'm not saying that everyone has a creativity blockage, but it's a result of the situations and the symptoms that people that we run into are experiencing. So, and a lot of people that I see are really, and I'm one of them. I mean, I never danced, I never draw. It's like I was very left brain, and a lot in my masculine. So, like, really honoring the creative stuff. It's yeah. So if you want to draw instead, or paint instead of journal, then yeah, do that. That's very, or if you always write, then try to draw because it will stimulate something inside of you, and just having that time to explore.
Agree 100%.
And yeah, so the next pillar is chi dynamics. And this one you could also do before the journaling if you feel like it. What is good to do after the EFT, because there's so much energy that we have been working on in the with the EFT. that we want to move the stagnant energy. We want to move that energy that we have freed up in the body. So you could also do the chi dynamics before the journaling. It's either or what you feel. If you don't have a lot to process after the EFT, that you feel like, wow, this was a lot, I need to process this, then I would suggest that the chi dynamics comes after the EFT. So they are back to back because you want to move the energy of the EFT as quickly as possible. And then you just do the journaling after. So that's, yeah, work with whatever feels best. And chi dynamics is a collective name that we use here as a way to. It's not physical exercise. It's more moving deep energy systems of the body, and that when we uh, when we say that, we mean like the deep, like the chi or the prana that is used in yoga and in traditional Chinese medicine. It's to not only move the cardiovascular system or the muscles. It's about moving the lymphatic system, the fascia, and the deep systems, that the deep energy systems that are very very easily they get stagnant, and in that stagnant energy, then that's where a lot of the disease or pains or yeah, different problems are coming from, because there's part of the body that is not moving. So doing the chi dynamics in the morning routine is a way to start to move, and especially when you do it every day, you come back to it, and then the body's deeper energy starts to move, and you start to reverse the issues and the symptoms that you have in the body. So this is super important.
Yeah, and if you kind of look at the whole structure of what we talked about so far, the meditation is the awareness and transition from different states, asleep, awake, connecting. The EFT is to start to move stagnant energy like emotions or thought system. It kind of gets everything moving. Everything in life has energy, thought, emotion, action, breathing. It's different energies that are either moving or not moving. And if they're not moving, there will always be moving to some point, but there's usually a reason, right? There's something in us that's blocking that, and that's what starts to lead to imbalances and injuries and um, pH levels, acidity, all these kind of things that can start to create problems in our body. So the meditation is really transitioning states. EFT starts to move those emotions, those thoughts. The creativity allows us to go out from our left brain thinking to kind of start to let something come out, And the chi dynamics is our way to communicate with our body and start to have different ways of doing something with this energy, right? Like here, I'm doing like some more body work, but it can be Tai Chi, it can be breathing, it can be yoga. It's something to move energy and to do something with all this energy, right? You woke up and you start to amass all of this energy. Where do I do with it? Like, how do I send it out? How do I navigate it? How do I play with it? So it can be to open up, like Sarah said, deep stagnation in your body if you have pain or if you have lymphatic system blockages. But it can also be to really start to breathe, start to feel your body, start to connect to your body on a very deep level, and it will tell you things, right? It will start to communicate with you. And if you're very left brain dominant, you will be like, oh my god, this is so strange. Like when people do TRE, the tension and trauma release exercise, and your body starts to shake, tremoring coming from your subconscious mind, from your autonomic nervous system. People can get a little bit afraid sometimes because, like, I'm not doing that from my head, because we're so used to being there that we believe that's all we are. So the chi dynamics is really a way of tapping into energy work, whatever that means for you. It can be from just feeling your breath to more esoteric and connecting to a plant to anything, right? But it's a matter of moving something, getting something moving and sending it somewhere, attracting something, repelling something.
Yeah, I mean, this is the combination of these building blocks are absolutely fantastic. That's why we use them in, yeah, these blocks and in these suggested orders. And I really want to say that starting to move the I mean, the traditional Chinese medicine, they say that all diseases comes from stagnant energy. That's where they start. So this is massive. So here at the farm, we do meditation first together, and then we do the chi dynamics. So we mix it up a little bit, and then people do their own EFT and stuff after. But it works as well because here at the farm we do so many things anyway. So the chi will never, it will be moving for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so the last building block that we suggest in this masterclass is to start working with your belief systems, and the belief systems are what will decide. It's almost like you have the future in your hand. You can look at your future based on your belief systems. You can look at your happiness and your situation in life based on your belief systems, because the belief system is what's creating the big hologram that is your life. And these are so much stronger and deeper than we can ever imagine. And they also work on a very, it's almost like on a silly level. I mean, some things we can really understand, like, wow, that was a deep belief system. Wow, I didn't see that. And some things are just super silly that we can get rid of quite easily. So, and if we realize that our belief systems are like, that's why we call it programs. Like, it's something that is, that's why we all have different ones, because they you can install them and uninstall them. So some people believe that this is the right thing, and some people believe that this is the right thing. But what you can do with your belief system is that they also create like a invisible, or like a glass bubble. It's like you think the sky is the limit, but your belief system is what uh, is usually is one of the reasons why you are not there already, uh, where you want to go. And if you can start to move these belief system and shift them, then amazing results will happen. And you can do that by manifestation and different affirmations.
Yeah, and you can mix, like manifestation affirmations can be done during meditation. It can be done after meditation. It can be done as a prayer if that's what you're feeling called to. It can be done at the end of an EFT session, right? So you tap on the things that are challenging, you start to clear them up, and at the end, I choose to go on with my day in peace. No matter what happens, I choose to relax. So you can add the manifestation and the affirmation into other parts. They can kind of cross or change, like they can be interchangeably used in other practices. But essentially it's about allowing things in. When I look at manifestation or affirmation, it's about what do you allow in and what do you let out, right? And it's a massive thing because it's really connected to belief systems. We talked about this in I think it was this morning, about if you ask someone if they really want to reach a goal, do you want to be successful, do you want to do this, do you want to do that, they will say yes, but it might be parts of them in their belief system that doesn't allow them to do so. So with the morning routine you can start to kind of go through this whole journey, clear everything up, and then your brain will come into more of a theta state, more of a receptive state, right, where you can add suggestions into it. Not that you're programming your mind, more like you take out the weeds in a garden, right? So you can plant new seeds so new things can be there and sprout because there's not something that's attacking it when it's trying to grow and it's defenseless, right? So you're really clearing out all the weeds and then you add something new, seeds, and you give it love and attention and affection. That would be the manifestation affirmation, right? You nurturing something so it will grow into being resilient and strong and moving on its own, right? Autonomous and can bring it forward.
Yeah. So these are the five building blocks that we suggest to start with. Um, but I mean, you could have other things in your practice that you would be doing. So you could just insert and remove anything that you feel is uh, possible for you, or that is good for you, or that you want to do. And also, you could flow with whatever you feel like is calling you. So these are the five blocks. And we will also talk a little bit about a block that is the evening routine, because there we can do any of the things that we are doing in the evening, in the morning, but at the evening we want to prepare for sleep. And uh, since stress is such a big thing in today's society, and if you have the different any different symptoms that you feel like, we talk about pain or depression or stress or anything, it's all related to the nervous system. So it's about preparing the nervous system for sleep, because what happens to many people nowadays is that they are so activated during the daytime that the body doesn't really unwind during the night. Sometimes we sleep, but the nervous system is not really grounded. It's not really, it's not as, it it doesn't, it takes longer than just one night's sleep to get the nervous system to regulate, and then we're constantly in this stressful state. So if in the evening time we want to prepare the body for sleep. What do you say, Simba?
Yeah, it's really about winding down. It's like the sun comes up, there is a lot of cortisol rising in your body, some adrenaline sometimes. And then as the evening comes, the sun naturally goes down, but we have all this fluorescent light and stimulants and things going on. So we're kind of conditioned not to follow the natural circadian rhythm. So that's why evening routine is important, to bring us back to that natural circadian rhythm of following the light and starting to slow down as the light diminishes and becomes darker. It's an indication for most beings, right, to go to sleep. There's other beings that become awake at night, right? Especially if you live out here in the jungle, you will hear that there's a lot of things awake at night that's not awake in the daytime. But we are not designed to be like that. We're designed to be awake during the light hours. So that's a good transition for you. And we kind of come back to something that we naturally have in our genes as we start our evening routine.
Yeah, and the evening routine. Yeah, we can click to the next one actually. um, so how to flow with time and structure. So we mentioned this a little bit in the beginning, that you take the time that you have. If you have 30 minutes, then you do 30 minutes. And then you divide the time between the things that you feel like you need the most, or what you feel very drawn to. And the meditation, you can you can do you can do short periods of time with many things, or you can do longer periods of time of fewer things. It's all up to you what you feel like you need and what you feel like the body needs. And sometimes people don't have so much time in the morning, and they have more time in the evening, and then you could, so many people that I work with, they feel like they want to take time for the EFT, because they are very diligent with what they're very committed to their transformation, and they really feel the power of the EFT, and they use it to work through the blockages that is coming up for them. So sometimes they move the EFT to the evening because they feel they have more time, because they feel, okay, I'm going to work through the relationship with my mom, and it's super infected, and I know it's a deep thing for me, and I don't want to open that up before I go to work. So then I do more grounding and calming and more going into the body and move the chi in the morning, and then I remove the EFT and do that as an isolated event together with the journaling in the evening. So I do the deeper work in the evening, because I feel like, okay, if it takes 20 minutes, then that's fine, but if it takes 40 minutes, that's fine too, or even an hour, then I will give myself that time, because it's a high priority in my life to work through these blockages. And you can do that with affirmations, and it depends a little bit, because sometimes some people are very stressed in the morning and have more pain, let's say, in the morning, and then they need to do more physical stuff or ground more. But some people, they feel more stressed in the evening before they go to bed, and then they need to do more things, that and all the tools doesn't work exactly the same for everyone. So it's about trying different things out and do whatever makes you feel the most relaxed, the most happy, the what sets you up for a good day or a good night's sleep. That's what you do. But understanding that when you box in your life with a steady morning routine and a steady evening routine, your life will shift. You will transform the energy in your system. And well, I need to take that back, because if you have the intention to work through blockages, you might feel a little bit worse when they are coming to the surface, but that's the point. But you will start to transform your life.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's a blessing when you set your intention and you actually start to manifest it. You start to actually materialize it into a practical routine in your everyday life. Whatever is not supposed to be there anymore will start to leave, and that's what Sarah said. You might feel worse, but you will just feel what's there. It's not better or worse. You will feel the things that are no longer necessary for you as you detox them.
Yeah, and I mean, the routine is not going to create these emotions. The emotions are already there, but you are no longer suppressing them. You are allowing them to come to the surface, because what is creating all the symptoms that we do not want in our lives is caused by all the things that are not processed, the stagnant chi, or the blocked emotions, or the unfinished stress responses, or uh, all of these things. And how to set yourself up for success is to be aware and to be curious and to be willing to explore yourself and explore all of these things that are unprocessed, so that you can um, go on and live a happy life. So that's the whole point. To and this and the the routines will also build your personal power, build your stress resilience, build your energy field. It's just, you're just going to become stronger and stronger and stronger. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to see what it is the body want to let go of, because we're carrying around so many things that is yeah, that's what's costing our life force, basically. And that the body doesn't have the energy or the ability to regenerate itself as it's supposed to. So every 24 hours, the body is supposed to regenerate a lot of the cells in the body. But when the unprocessed uh, things, I mean, it's food, it's stress, it's emotions, it's all of it, that the body doesn't have enough energy left to regenerate the cells. And that's when our health and our life force or vitality or energy is starting to go down, and we start to experience migraines or headaches or pains or depression or any kind of symptom. So the success is to show up for yourself every day, but in the capacity that the body wants to show up. So it's it's a big difference between snoozing your way through uh, the the morning routine and actually getting up, walking over to the yoga mat, lighting the candles, light an incense, and then lay down for the rest of the morning routine. It's a big difference. You don't think it is, but it is. You're sending a message to the body that it's okay to be tired, but I set the intention, and we're doing this. We're being diligent. We're being diligent with the practice.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, and I love this next question, how to set yourself up for success, because it's really, the intention, like you said, the intention of what is it that you want to do, to have an intention, to have a practice that you do, and you're grounding, you're regulating your nervous system so that you have more range, more space to respond, to see opportunities, to seize opportunities, to call them in, right? Because you have energy, you have mental clearness, you have awareness, you want to. If you're drained, if you're tired, and you say, oh, I want all of these things, maybe you don't. Maybe you really don't. Maybe you just want to rest. Maybe you just want to rest, and that's why it's not coming, right? So these routines are here to set you up for success, to give you a space where you feel ready to start to receive all of these aspects, things, dreams, goals, whatever it is that we're looking for, right? So the morning routines really creates a foundation to regulate the nervous system, and for you to have that more range of opportunities and options to take choices as you move forward in your day.
Yeah, and this is also an opportunity for you to explore. If I mean, if, of course, you can't be tired that you're just supposed to lie down. I mean, people can be that tired, and when we with the stuff that we work with the stress and the deep levels of stress and trauma that we work with, sometimes that some people just need to lay on the yoga mat and just lay there because they're running around way too much, you know. But usually that's not the case. Usually there's something going on in the nervous system, and there's something going on emotionally, and that we have an emotional connection to whatever body sensation we are feeling. So when we have this resistance in the morning, um, how you will set yourself up for success is to be curious. So set up a space for yourself that is inviting, that is nice, that is welcoming and cozy. And I mentioned the lights and I mean, not all people are fans of incense and don't want to, light their incense in the bedroom or inside of an apartment. So that's fine. But really setting up a space that you want to go to, because this is your time, and this is like, I'm investing in myself. I'm sending out the intention to the universe. Like I'm like on the topic of manifestation and affirmation, like, universe, I am investing in myself. The most important person in my life is me, and look at me, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And that's massive. And creating a space that you want to come back to over and over again is very, very important. Like, make your favorite cup of tea, like really make it cozy in that space. It's so cozy you don't want to leave. But if you don't feel like going, getting up and going to do your practice, then there's something emotional or nervous system stuff going on. And then you can explore that. Like, what is this? What's really going on here? And then you use the meditation to, like, wow, I feel, oh my God, the resistance is just, wow. And then you go into that and you can observe it and get to know it and learn from it. And then you use the EFT to shift that energy. And also, if you do the, let's say you do the meditation and then you do one or a couple of rounds of EFT. Maybe you even have a follow along EFT video that is on the topic of tiredness or something, and then you do the lymphatic massage afterwards. Many times we have shifted that energy, so we go in, so we start the day with a completely different energy, and that we learn to work through, because that energy is heavy and it's inside of us, and we want to move that energy. We want to, instead of having it as one big blob that is kind of like just makes us want to stay in bed all day, then we want to move through that and dissolve it. And we use the EFT and the lymphatic massage to kind of to dissolve the energy, and so we can go through it. And by being consistent, that's when then we start to move these energies for real, and then that's when we start to feel or experience like deep personal change, when we can go through those things.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the way to set yourself up for success. You know, you really prime yourself to let go of something or receiving something.
Yeah. And that brings us into the topic of consistency versus self sabotage. And we actually made a whole podcast of this, yeah, Friday last week. So if you want to, if you think that this is interesting, then you can go to our YouTube channel and you'll find the episode there. But the consistency is the key. That's what's going to bring us to success. Easier said than done. I mean, we already mentioned the fact that we sometimes we don't want to do it, and sometimes we will fall off the wagon, and that's why we use this word self-sabotage, because that's what it's like commonly, that's the common word if we are setting ourselves up for new habits, new routines, or if it's New Year's and we're going to go to the gym and whatnot, and then, oh no, I self sabotage because I can't stick to the healthy food or whatnot. But what happens is we are very, these things happen. This is not like, oh, it only happens to the people who are not committed enough or not good enough, or the ones, this is not only for the failures, this is for everyone. Everyone will lack the consistency at some point. Life is not set up so in that way that we can do our morning practice every single day. Usually not. For very few people, that is the fact. So, for whatever reason, we don't manage to be 100% consistent. It's important to not go into the feeling of self sabotage, because this is a part of the plan, to have days where it just doesn't work out. The point is to go back. We have two choices. We go back, or we start to look at what it is that is causing, because this is when the real interesting things is going to happen. So you could turn it around and start looking for the the reasons to self sabotage, or to kind of drop the ball, so to speak. And it's very important to not use the term self sabotage, because we're not sabotaging, we're finding nuggets of resistance or emotional blockages or belief systems that we need to work through. So it's almost like, oh, I bounced into a belief system, or I found uh, something that I need to work through. That's what's happening. It's not that you're sabotaging. That's not what's happening. You just find something that you need to. It's almost like the morning routine is like a treasure hunt. And when you find a treasure that you need to work through, you might need to remove that from the morning routine and deal with that as an isolated thing that you need to set more time aside to deal with. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we made a whole podcast about it, so there's so much to say about it. But essentially, when you have a consistency, there's going to be an opposing force coming up, right? When you
yeah,
start to move a lot of things, there's going to be some negativity, some uncleared pattern in yourself that's going to come up. I can't do this. I can't do it every day. Whatever it is, and that's what Sarah said. It's like a treasure hunt. When that comes up, you can just go at it in whatever way. You don't have to attack it. You can go straight at it, you can go gently at it, but that is usually something to be cleared up, because that's what's not setting you up for success. That's what's holding you back from success. So that's kind of what we wanted that slide to represent, I would assume.
yeah. And this is the common mistake that we believe that we're doing something wrong when we're actually doing something right, because these things are supposed to come up, because the nervous system is grounding. You give it time, the body starts to communicate. It says, wow, I really want to work through this relationship with my mom. It's painful for me. I want to get rid of this. And that's why it comes up to the surface. And instead, we might not want to look at that, and we go do something else instead. So what the body is telling you, when you want to fall off the wagon, or when things are becoming to get hard and you don't want to stick with the program, that's when the things start to get really interesting. And that's resistances, usually like resistances, emotional blockages, or limiting belief systems.
For sure. And that will usually come up like something that you believe to be true because you heard it for so long. Oh, I can't do this. Someone like me can't do that. That's not possible. I have to, I can't, I should. This is not, whatever it is, have to, must, need to, got to, not able to. Whenever you kind of start hearing those words in your own head or coming out from your mouth, just know there's a belief system there, because you can do anything, right? There's nothing that's really holding you back. Whatever is holding you back is your belief system.
Yeah, that's a massive part. And so, what do you do when these things happen? I mentioned it a little bit, but you could, if it's not too big, you could use it as something that you work through in the daily routines. Like, you can do EFT on it, you can journal on it, keep going with like meditating on it, and allowing the body to to process it by itself. And because you're doing the daily routines, you are activating the body's self-healing mechanisms, and you can hold space for yourself as you process it. So you could either uh, do it within the container of the daily routines, or you can move it outside, put it in the evening, uh, and give it time. Or maybe you feel like, okay, I will save this for the weekend, and do a longer routine in the morning, and really spend time with EFT to work through whatever it is that comes up. But so everything can be worked through, and you can hold space for yourself through this, but sometimes it is not enough. So what do you do if it's not enough? Then uh, I suggest that you contact someone who can help you and who can hold space for you. And what we always say is that choose someone that you trust, that you feel like, okay, this way of working, I really resonate with. and also someone who has gone through whatever it is that you want to go through, that you feel like you want to trust. If you feel like what we are doing and resonating with what we are saying, we are launching a way for people to work with us, but not coming to the farm to do deep inner work, but in a more accessible way. So we are actually launching a group program that we call Abundant Lifestyle, and we call it a mastermind because we will share knowledge, we will do practical work with emotional and the nervous system, but we're also building the community and the togetherness of people who are on the same journey. So we will mix like theory and practical tools. We will even have somatic work. We will do breath work and TRE recurring over time. And this is a 3 month program and diving in. So we will be both me and Simba will be available through this, and it will be 10 people maximum, and it will be a very, very intimate and yeah, we're really putting together a way to work with us in an accessible way. So this could be very, very good for those people who are feeling like they need both more understanding and practical tools, but also the somatic work, uh, but not in need of one-on-one session or coming to the farm. So this is like a medium level support, which is going to be amazing.
It's a container for sure. It's different kinds of container and support and resources that you can use, right? But if you look at the whole master class that we just did with the daily routines, this is kind of like how can you come to a practice with a group where you work on these aspects, right? We'll have these kind of classes that we do today. I'll do some somatic work sessions for you to really do some practical stuff, not just the theory, that you actually get to, get the accountability. I have a time booked every week. I can come there and I can practice these tools. I'm not alone. And that's been a big part of working with a lot of people, especially when they're not here, when they're abroad, because there might be a smaller community of people that are equal minded and want to do these things in terms of improving their health and letting go of certain habits and beliefs and routines. So this is really a way of creating a community as well for people to feel you're not alone. There's more people doing these kind of changes in their life and have these interests, and it's a safe container for you to continue to practice. So it really is a thruster, right? It just allows you to propel faster and more, go further faster, I would say, to be in this kind of group setting.
Yeah, I think this will be fantastic. And we're launching it next week. So we're soft launching it now. So if you are interested in this, please send us a message or email. And yeah, we will set you up and see if you're a good fit, if it's something that you feel is interesting. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to share these tools and our practices. And if you want to know more, like Sarah said, you feel free to write us for the group classes, or you can come to our website and check out. We have a lot of other things that we offer and that we do that you might find interesting. And feel free to connect with us, whatever kind of questions and inquiries you have, and we'll be more than happy to do our best to answer them.
Thank you, Simba. This was a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun.
And I'll see you soon for a new masterclass. Lots of love from all of us here at the farm, and I'll see you soon.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.